I'd like to say a few words here about the difference between project management models, the old and the new, the so-called waterfall, as well as the iterative or agile models. First of all, I see a distinction between what I'm calling construction work, where we've got tangible deliverables, versus information work, where the deliverables may not be so tangible, more like software or other kinds of intangible deliverable projects. In the construction world, we've got the engineers and the architects who work up the specifications, they know their requirements, and then they can throw them over the wall to the builders. But you look at the information work model, and we see that architects and engineers, the people who gather requirements and the software developers, they're doing the planning for the project, figuring out what it is, as well as executing it at the same time. And the question in this good old-fashioned waterfall method, where we can't start any of the work until we get all the requirements taken, is, well, wait a minute, what if we find out later after we've got to the third floor that there are some requirements we forgot in the basement? Can we hybridize these models of more traditional project management and agile or adaptive methods? Well, first of all, we've got to rethink some of our linear work expectations. If we're building a brick wall and it's 100-foot long, do we have, and we know after we've built 3 feet of 6 feet that we may be 50% complete, but how do we do that in terms of a knowledge work project? So for example, if we were to ask Leo Tolstoy what his progress was in writing War and Peace and just try to get that from a word count, we probably wouldn't get much success. Secondly, can we break it up into pieces? Can we use this kind of an incremental model? What can we do first? What can we do second? What can we do third on large chunks of the project so we can show some progress? Then there is this more iterative model where we make an outline and we do some of it in rough draft, in rough format, and gradually we fill it in, we become more detailed. And I think the difference is, in your choice of these methodologies, how fuzzy is the front end? I mean, what do we really know in advance about the requirements, about what the customer really needs? And lastly, we could try to hybridize by building an iterative model into the WBS. So we could try to look at in advance that we're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 iterations of testing. We know that in advance. How long is each of them going to be? What is each of them going to entail? Is hybridization possible? Well, let's look into any given project and see what the advantages and disadvantages are to rethinking our project management models. Thank you.